We just want to welcome you to the second edition of My Money is Funny, but I Ain't Laughing. This is really about not being broke. This is about finding ways to build wealth, finding ways to make our money work for us. And so we want to intersperse some cash money comedy with some sound financial advice.
Folks, right now I'm not broke, but I used to be broke. I'm sure all of us have been broke at one time in our life, right? I'm the only one? I remember being broke in college. We got college students, have people been to college out there? Yeah, remember them days? Yeah, remember them days when you got to decide whether you're going to eat or buy your books? Eat or buy my books? I always bought my books. That's right. I always bought my books. And after I read each chapter, I would eat the pages. Chapter 5 was delicious.
Share a little bit with the audience about what you do around financial.
Well, we started out on capital management because there was a serious void in terms of being of a broad demographic of education. When I was on Wall Street, I remember one time my aunt called me and said, "Brian, what is a stock?" And after 5 years or 6 years of trading stocks, I realized my own family didn't even know what the heck I was doing. So I wanted to fill that void. So when I went to interview various companies, those companies that dealt with only high net worth individuals, they gave a very comprehensive model, essentially saying that unless I only work with high net worth individuals, everybody else is a waste of time. So, my family's not a waste of time. So I wanted to deal with some companies that dealt with a more broader demographic. Then I interviewed with some other companies that dealt with, that claimed that they dealt with everybody, but it turned out that they were also product pushers. They wanted to say, hey, buy some insurance, buy some stock. And what if they weren't necessarily ready to buy stock? What if they already had enough insurance for their job? And what then? So we wanted to do something that was a fee-only advisory company that dealt with a very broad demographic where we do a lot of teaching, maybe 4 to 6 workshops a month for the past 6 years. We've developed a curriculum for colleges. We've been as far as South Africa teaching financial literacy to those who need. And again, it's very, every one of our advisors is very passionate and they love to teach, and that's what we out in capital management is. We never promote products. It's all pretty much all about information workshops.
My name is Candy Sparks, and I'm the author of the Can I Have Some Money book series for children and the families that love them. Financial literacy is my passion, and I have a whole different approach to teaching money, because a lot of the things that Ryan and Sabrina and our celebrity judges are doing are great, but they're for adults. Wouldn't you say that it's great when you get help? Wouldn't you say it's better when your children get help? Okay. Yeah, so great. Okay. So we wanted to empower children and families with financial literacy that was really fun. And I'll never say I'm broke. I'm not broke. I'm just circulating. And I'm waiting for it to come back. So I know there's got to be a secret about money, right? There's got to be a secret. There's a secret, and I just wish I knew what the secret to money is.
Well, when you think about it, money in a functioning ecosystem is very, very similar to trees, because they help circulate needed materials, things that we love, things that we want. And one thing was playing time with both trees and money is George Washington. And my friend is right here, he's on my bill. And George Washington was a wonderful man because I think that. Anyways, why don't you make like a tree and leave?
And that's, it's pretty sad when you see a black man getting out of a Sonata. You just want to kind of just pray for that brother right there, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool, I got a Hyundai Sonata, but I took the Hyundai logo off. So if you look at my car from the corner of your eye for under 3 seconds, it might look like a Honda. Matter of fact, I walk girls to my car sideways, so they really can't tell, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Well, I do have some advice, speaking of financial literacy. Black and brown people, please make sure you have some white friends. Get you some white friends. I swear I get all my stock tips from white friends as well. I hang out with white people just in case one of them drop their debit card. I'm going to pay off my entire year's worth of rent just with what's in their checking account. And don't let their savings account be linked, because you might hear about a hedge fund being started in the Bronx.
Struggling out here trying to make some money. I try to street perform sometimes, but out in the city, whatever, I get treated very cold sometimes, especially by white people. Like one time I was out there trying to do some comedy, and an old white lady came by, and I'm like, how you doing, miss? Once you come show support, give a little something, and she's like, oh, please, Negro, get away from me. I'm like, miss, that's not nice. Come show support. And she's like, support? Listen, I voted for Obama. That is the last time I ever support you people. Like, what? So I supported my wallet and robbed it, Oh man, taking in a lot from this is a fun event. Thank you guys for having me. I think the lady, she was talking about having the richest nation is the imagination, right? That's a beautiful thing, but I like, for her to tell that to some of my people back in Haiti out there struggling, how they can take that message and say, what? Imagine money? I need some money, okay? I don't have time to imagine money, okay? Unless you have something to give to me, okay?
My name is Kim Bradshaw, and I run an organization called Fathers Incorporated, and again, like I told you before, we work at building the capacity of men to become financially and emotionally involved in the lives of their children. But we've been working with this concept around keeping your spirits high when your budget is low, particularly for non-custodial parents that are struggling with finding jobs, who don't have the educational attainment in order to get wage-earning jobs, and all of those things, because we believe that keeping your spirits high when your budget is low is not about what's in your pocket, it's about how you feel about yourself. So if you don't feel good about yourself, it's hard for you to face the world every day to do good for yourself. And like I told you earlier today, men and fathers are the most hardest hit by this recession that we're going through now. 75% of the job loss in the last year or so have been primarily to men. Many of them are fathers. But we're used to living in hard times, right? Response, black people, we're used to living in hard times, and we're used to, trying to find a way, and we're used to making $1 out of 15 cents. So I think that encouraging people to find a way to keep their spirits high, come to an event like this, to kind of get some humor, about not having money. And I know, particularly for single mothers, because I grew up in a single parent household, I'm sure at the time that she was broke, things weren't very funny to her, right? But I think that in our small apartment in Brooklyn, New York, I think that we found a way to keep our spirits high, even when our budgets were low. And I think I learned a lot of lessons in Crown Heights. I'm going to share 3 of them with you. And these are not all 3, but these are just 3. Then I'm going to get off the stage and leave way for the next people to come on. And these are primarily for men. I'm talking to the fathers, right? And how many fathers are in here? And if you're women, take this message back to the men at home. First way to keep your spirits high when your budget low. Tell these guys this, don't be ashamed of this. You should not be ashamed in your household to make a grilled cheese sandwich on your ironing board. Don't act like y'all haven't done it before. Don't act or let me come down and start asking where you live, because we've all done it before, right? You haven't done it before? It's because people are burning, so you talk about people who live in their head. All on the radio. But we found innovative ways, right? When we had a family to do
sometimes you're gonna find other ways to make do for your family. Second thing, like my mom used to always tell me, knowledge is free. Knowledge doesn't cost you anything. If you're out of work now, find a way to learn more things about building your capacity to earn money to take care of your family. My uncle used to always say, the more you know, the more you glow. So knowledge is free. The last thing I'm gonna leave you with, don't take yourself too serious. Right? We're here, we're supposed to be out here laughing. These guys have come up here to put their talents and skills on the table for us to be here. Don't take yourself too serious. Find a way to laugh. Find a way to enjoy life. Life is not that serious. My favorite